I need a reset. We're 2 weeks into January and things aren't working out the way that I'd planned or the way that I'd hoped. It's affecting my mood. It's affecting my energy. And I'm sure it's not just me. The state of the world has a lot to answer for. But when I feel like this, or when things feel like this, when my body is agitated, when there's nothing that I want to do, the only thing to do is go for a walk. I'm pretty irritable today. Have been for a couple of days. Mostly disappointed. The year hasn't started off how I'd planned, and that's a pretty shocking realisation, and it requires adjustment, further grief, I suppose, of what I can't do, what I'm not capable of, and more evaluating what it is that I can do and how I'm gonna more than survive. But at the minute I don't even know how I'm going to survive financially, and that's hard to take, to bear. Let's go in these woods. You may recognise this misty landscape from my solstice walk video, and I've come out less for the beauty, although that's very lovely, but more for the consistent regular movement. I find it regulating. It helps shift energies. It takes the focus away from my thoughts and puts my focus into my body. I don't even know if that's what I need in terms of focus, but I definitely need to move. Walking in nature always does me good. So, not feeling good, let's go and walk in nature. I'm struggling to breathe and I'm not sure what that's about. I presume anxiety and a little bit of the uphill. So last year, 2025, I was burning out. I recognised that in 2024 and I started to adjust my work and the things that I would do to try and, I don't want to say compensate, but I suppose allow for the energy that's needed to do a good job with my clients, as I'm a psychotherapist, but also to try and make sure that I've got energy for life, for enjoying, for seeing friends. So I took measures from summer 24. I stopped taking on new clients. I took things easy over winter. I really struggled in winter last year. I recognised that I was in perimenopause, went to see the doctor, started HRT in April 25, really hoped that it would be the magic bullet, the amazing addition of estrogen back into my reduced levels, and that I'd get my energy back and I'd be able to re-enter life properly. That didn't happen. I continued not taking on new clients, and I was fine seeing the clients that I was seeing. Hadn't yet worked out how to earn more money, but I was doing okay, and once I wasn't doing okay financially, I applied for universal credit. So from summer 25, the government was helping me financially, and that helped reduce my anxiety. I went to the festivals that I was planning to go to. I did get overwhelmed and overstimulated at both festivals and had to adjust how much I got involved in things, but I got involved in things and I had a good time. But then things still didn't really improve. I felt like I was trying to do too much social media wise. Not doing too much. I wasn't being boundaried with it. I wasn't containing it. I was constantly thinking about videos and content and what are the things that I should do, what are the things that I want to say, how do I want to help people, how do I want to help myself, and it just became too much. So in September I decided for October, November and December I would stop anything besides seeing my client. It was October where I also started painting again. I dabbled a little bit in bits of art throughout the year, but as October I got my palette out and started using my acrylics. So I decided for those bare months I would only see my clients, I would only do art, having a proper break, putting all the social media content creation stuff down. And I knew that at the end of that I would have a 2-week break from solstice. I always have solstice off. I have solstice off. And then I was going to be rejuvenated. I was going to start the new year full of beans and rested, rejuvenated, inspired, raring to go. And I was, and I did. And then I crashed. So then I thought maybe it's just a bit of a blip. No. So I thought, okay, I need to calm this down. Don't try and do too much at once. Try and categorize the days. Don't do too many different things in a day. Narrow things down. And I'd reduced the number of days that I see clients. So I only see clients on 3 days. I only have 8 clients total. If I keep them separate from other things, then I don't need to do too many transitions and I don't need to hold too many things in one day. That was my plan. So I'd worked out what I thought was a reasonable posting schedule and posting order and categorised them, got a rhythm, decided, and I'd started booking in hours for me for focused work. Give myself the same respect and consideration that I give to my clients. So if I want and need to do work, which I do, rather than just wing it on the day and see what happens, schedule in hours with myself so that I know it'll get done and that it is just contained within that one block. So I started the second week of January, raring to go again, ready to try out this new structure. So I finished Monday with a busy head and I thought, maybe I've done too much, I'll readjust. And then Tuesday, I finished with a busy head. And so I'd started with a weekly posting schedule that I thought was definitely doable for me, because I've had 3 months rest from content creation and because I'd had 2 weeks off and because I've only got a few clients and because I feel well and energized. But I adjusted. I got to Wednesday and I was already feeling overwhelmed. I spent a day co-working with friends. So it's a good thing, objectively, social contact, human contact. It's a draining thing energetically, but that's okay. Like that's the payoff. So Wednesday I was really sad. Wasn't really sure what I was doing, but decided to adjust my expectations again. We're not doing a weekly posting schedule. We're sticking with the categories of days. We're sticking with the order of which I want to make things. So there's my 4 pillars: autism, menopause, art, long walks. So I'm going to keep making them, but they don't have to be uploaded every Friday. They just have to be in the slots that I've created each week. And I just keep making the video until it's done and then I upload it. Takes as long as it takes. It's fine. I know, not really. So that's the adjustment that I've made already a week and a half into the year. But now we're at the weekend and I'm not over the overstimulation and overwhelm and everything that has been created from all of that trying and all of that overexertion and all the newness, I suppose, and the busyness. So now I'm at this weekend, I'm not having a good time. Yesterday I had the day to myself. There were no expectations beyond going and seeing my drawing that's in the exhibition. First time I've had a drawing or any piece selected for an exhibition. So that was a big deal, but it was last weekend that was supposed to be the private view. My friends all came up to Sheffield to see and they cancelled it because of the weather. I wasn't sure I'd be able to go and see it because I actually had other plans yesterday, but they've unfortunately got cancelled. So yeah, that was my plan and that's what I did, but I didn't have a good time. Busy city, trying to find parking, ended up in the most expensive parking. It was all just too much and I couldn't talk myself out of it. I couldn't soothe myself. I couldn't make it better. It just was a tough day. And I'd already decided that today was going to be a day where I'd spend the majority of it out in the countryside. That I'd go for a walk. But because yesterday was so difficult, like, even though this weather is like this, and at another time I might have decided, this is a stay in on the sofa and read kind of day. That's absolutely not what would have been best for me today. So I made myself come out, made myself walk, got myself stuck in a dead end. I followed a path that apparently doesn't go anywhere. Maybe it's because that tree has fallen and I would have walked through there. Who knows, but it's like people here. So, I'm here on this foggy Sunday. Many things to be grateful for. And I definitely feel better today than I did yesterday. And when I try and think about what is the lesson to take from this, what is the area of growth? And I try not to make everything a teachable moment because that can be exhausting also. But this is so acute and I can't do what I planned to do. And it was great ideas and it was a great schedule. And it was pretty gentle as far as humans go, but it's still too much as far as this autistic perimenopausal human goes. It's another like hand in the face, stop, this isn't okay, you need something different. Other than less, I don't know what different is yet. There's people coming and I'm self-conscious, so hold on. So there's an Instagram influencer, horrible, mean, bad woman. She has been completely knocked off by her physical and energetic health last year. And I remember there was a moment. Do I want to go in here? I kind of do, but I'm sick of finding dead ends. So we'll go where it's clear. I remember really starkly when she said, sorry, I haven't been on for a while. I've had to be in a dark, quiet room, no light, no sound, no nothing for an extended period. And once she's finished doing this video, she'll need to go back there. And it was just a real clarity moment of when you really, really can't, when your system is really just done, there has to be nothing. There has to be no stimulation, no light, no sound, no touch, no movement. It's like when the body's really, really, really struggling and it takes over you, it will either send you into unconsciousness, like fainting, or you'll go into a coma. That's the only way that repair is done.
Hello there.
Hello. When everything else stops and the body can focus just on repairing whatever it is. So when she said that last year, I was like, oh, well, at least I'm not at the point where I have to be in a dark room with no sound. And it started a new fear in me. What if I get to the point of overwhelm and overstimulation? That's necessary. So I sort of vowed at that point to really respect my limits so that I don't get that far, and to cultivate a gentle environment and a gentle life. Because even though I'm not out of burnout by any stretch, I really thought I was on the other side of it, and that I'm now in the building stage and that I can get back into a slightly more vital life. And I definitely felt like that on the 5th of January or whenever it is that I was first back at work. But here we are 10 days later, and whilst I felt good and I was rested and I was ready, I've overloaded my system, and that sent me right back. Like, I feel a lot like I did in autumn when I got to September and I was just like, I've just got to stop. But I can't stop and I don't want to stop doing the extra. The extra is making videos. The extra is writing about my experiences. I think it's really important for me, and I think it's important for you if you are autistic and or perimenopausal, late diagnosed, all of that good stuff. I think it's important that I share my experiences because I hear that there aren't enough voices out there doing it, and doing it from my therapy lens, extra helpful. And I think I'm a bit entertaining, so that helps, doesn't it? But I'm not very entertaining when I'm being mardy and I'm overwhelmed and I've got no energy and I'm irritable and I don't want to talk to anybody, I don't want to see anybody. People that I live with, the noise they made this morning, awful. So yeah, for me, have to protect my energy, but also for the people that I have to be in relationship with. Say how miserable the weather is today. It's very busy. Some cyclists down there somewhere on the mountain bike track. So yeah, readjusting once again to what I'm capable of. Well, not what I'm capable of, what my system's capable of. I think it's important to separate those because I'm full of beans and full of ideas and creativity and excitement, and I just want to go and get on with it all. And I could until I can't. And I'm influenced by my system. My system is what gets overwhelmed and overstimulated and just says, stop. And that's just really clear to me. And I know that this is a thing that people who experience chronic illness and other disabilities, certainly acquired disabilities, it's a really hard thing to adjust to and to accept and to manage. And it's like the stop-start of life. Like, I want to get on, I want to do this stuff. I feel like I can get on and do this stuff. And the problem with chronic illness is, and I'm including myself in that because burnout, I believe, is chronic illness, or it's a chronic condition. It's not an illness. It's a condition from capitalism. For me, that's what it is. Not living in the ideal environment for me. Anyway, usually with chronic conditions that are limiting, energy limiting, you don't know that you've reached your limit until you have the crash later. And it takes a lot of pushing and crashing before you learn where your edges are. And then once you've learned where your edges are, they change. So that's what's happening with me. That's what happens with some of my clients. And that's what happens with people that I see online also sharing about their disabilities. So that's where I am now. I've been told I must stop. I've been shown I've been doing too much. Hated that. And so I do have to change. Before I change, I have to regulate and I have to soothe and I have to feed my body, feed my soul, feed the whole everything. And that's what walking is. Having done a daily walk almost every day last year and trained my body to crave it and like to really enjoy the rhythmic movement and the predictable route, it's become a great way to start my day. And when I get agitated or overwhelmed, going for another walk later on really helps to soothe and to shift the energy. So that's what I'm doing now. Also, one of my New Year's resolutions was to do one long walk a month in the Peak District, at least. And I was going to film it. It was going to be a gentle, beautiful vlog that I was going to do every month. And I still will. And I'll obviously talk about whatever it is that's on my mind. What's on my mind right now is burnout and preventing it, but also the smoke and mirrors and the tricksteriness of recovery and the challenges and the frustration of not being able to live the life that I want and finding ways to bear that. And in addition, this is what this is about, is finding ways to earn money that don't involve me working directly with people. That's my number one biggest energy drain. And I love the work that I do. And I'm not about to finish working with my clients. And I love the friends that I have. And I'm not about to completely isolate myself from them. And something in there I suspect might need to change. Or maybe the other changes that I make will support me to continue doing those things. I don't know. Being an artist is my childhood ambition. And being an artist in this AI age is becoming increasingly difficult, even for established artists and illustrators. And yet, I've decided that's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm not doing it to earn money. I'm doing it because it makes me come alive and I really enjoy it. And at the minute, I'm finding it challenging and that's rewarding in a masochistic kind of way. But it's something that I want to get better at. It's something I'd like to increase visibility of. It's something I'd like to earn some money from if that's possible. I know that it's another difficult thing. But I'm wondering if in the current economy, earning money in any way is a difficult thing, certainly on a self-employed basis. I know it's also hard to get a job at the minute. I'm not even trying, though there's a part of me that's like, oh, just give up all of this, stop trying. There's too much hard work, just get a job. But just get a job, actually, that's not a thing right now. So yeah. Things are difficult. It's 2 weeks into January. Here is my reset. I do already feel better. Verbal processing to you, to me, to me. Chuckle Brothers, if anybody knows, is helpful for me. I think being out in the woods, there are particles that float around which are also helpful for nervous systems and brains and bodies and souls and spirits. So yeah. Here I am on my regulating walk. Here are the beautiful trees. I don't know anything different to what I knew when I arrived, but I feel less. And I'm going to put the phone away now so that I can just walk. Because sometimes you just need to get into the left, right of it and just be in the rhythm. That's what's regulating. That's the theory of EMDR. I mean, there's a much more in the theory of EMDR, but both sides of the brain, the moving left and right. And what's her name, Shapiro, that discovered it and invented it, discovered it from walking and concentrating on the trees. And so that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'll have you doing that too. Do you know what a nice thing is about taking you with me on a walk? Because sometimes it feels like the burden of recording and getting the shot and being imaginative is a bit much. Mostly it's fine, but it's the thing I think about. But actually, with that tree in a tree just there, it's made me realise that nice parts about travelling with people compared to the challenging parts. And like one of the reasons why I would almost always choose to do things alone than with people is like the busyness and not being able to concentrate and all of that. But the nice thing about traveling with people and therefore walking with people is being able to say, oh, look at that, and feeling that connection with somebody. And even though you're not here with me right now, I can say, oh, look at these roots. They're cool, huh? And it feels like you're there. You're like, oh yeah, cool. So yeah, it makes it a shared experience, even though I'm still alone. And the aloneness is the easy part for me. But being able to share with an other is lovely. And now we need to cross these stepping stones. And I have no idea how stable they are. They look okay. This is a path that I didn't know where it was or what it was leading to. I'm glad the water's not as high as it looks like it has been recently. I may regret doing this with my phone in my hand, but I think we're okay. No idea if that was caught on camera or not. I'm aware that I am next to the main road over there, which is on the opposite side of the wood to where my car is. And paths don't seem to be that easy to find. Or maybe there's one just there on the other side of the water. I'm not sure if I want to go this way or if I want to go up and walk along the road. What have we here? That doesn't look like a proper path. And whilst these woods aren't massive, I don't want to get lost or stuck in a bog. So I can see the road sign. I can see the stone that says, "Welcome to the Peak District." Maybe I need to go up and show you that. I don't really want to walk along the side of the road, if I'm honest. I wonder if walking along will lead me to a clearer path. Because there's a path. And there's a path. Yep. So maybe I'll end up going back the way I came. Big piece of granite, I presume. It looks quite majestic. Yeah. In the middle. Next to the lone tree. I need to remember to hold this away from me. The last video had a lot of close face stuff. And I'm sure you don't want that. My mistake. It doesn't say welcome. It just says Peak National Park. I'm just about at the edge of the woods again, back where my car is parked. I don't know if I feel like I've walked enough. I've done 6,000 steps-ish. Definitely feel better. But it feels like too much hard work to think about somewhere else to go and walk. Which I suppose is a symptom of the burnout that I've been talking about for this whole walk. Maybe this should be enough for now. Now I need to go home and reevaluate. Have a cup of tea maybe, sit down, tune in, and then if I need to walk again, the sun will have set at that point, but I can still go out and I can still do a short circuit around near where I live. Or I can go further afield, but I'm less likely to do that in this weather, in the dark. So yeah, I think this has done what it needed to do. And I've got footage to make a wild and slow vlog, which is what I wanted to do. Cup of tea. Oh, that means I need to buy some milk, so we can get some milk on the way home. Maybe I'll sit and chat with you when I get home. Maybe this is the end of the talking part of this vlog. I guess we'll see when we come to uploading it, huh? But thanks for joining me. As I say, it does feel like you're here and I can say, hey, look at this. And then when I don't want to have to think about others or converse or anything like that, you're not really here. So that gives me the freedom to just be. There's some more kids on bikes coming. I'm not coming here for a lovely walk again. Certainly not on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. See you wherever this goes. Ta-ra. Milk got. Another thing that I was thinking of, or that it just occurred to me about what made last week difficult, or what's made the start of this year difficult, is that I'm trying to break away from Spotify and to find a slightly less deplorable music streaming service. So friends have kindly added me to their YouTube premium account, and I'm slowly trying to work that out and get used to it and make the change over, and that's proving a little challenging. Now, in the scheme of things, that doesn't seem a big thing at all, and I wouldn't normally have noticed that as an issue, but in learning about autism and how it affects me and recovering from burnout and preventing further burnout, I've learned that looking at the little things, they turn into the big things. And so actually learning about whilst YouTube seemed to have basically copied Spotify's interface, it does work in a slightly different way. I think I'm working out that YouTube music is the same as YouTube video, and so you can't do both at the same. Well, you can if you open a different browser, if you're using a laptop or using a phone and a laptop. Anyway, just those little things that you wouldn't otherwise think about, I'm now learning to think about. So I'm cancelling Spotify at the end of January, so I've got this 3-week crossover buffer period to get to know the different ways that they work. But it's been about a week that I've been trying to consciously choose YouTube where I would unconsciously use Spotify. And I think just that little difference between the unconscious, let's just go for it, and the conscious, oh no, let's make the right choice and work out how this works, work out how to get it to play on my speaker in my room, work out whether it'll even play on my car radio. And actually what I've learned today, because I like to do at least one day a month where my phone is off, so I put my phone on airplane mode, but I turn Bluetooth on and Spotify has auto downloaded, I think, my most played tracks. That seems to be what's going on now. And I know that there's also the capacity to download songs that I choose. As far as I'm aware, YouTube doesn't auto download things, but as I'm speaking now, I do know that you can download things from YouTube Premium. So maybe this is another conscious thing that I need to do, to choose which songs I would most often like to hear when I have my no phone day but I'm driving, or I can have silence, or I can have the radio. Like, they're all options, but specifically trying to work out the difference from Spotify to YouTube, to get YouTube to be as comfortable as it can be, the process of that, the adjustment of that, the thoughts of it, the working things out, the letting go, like unhooking from, oh well, Spotify will do this and Spotify that. We don't care. We don't want to support Spotify anymore. So YouTube, okay, what can YouTube do? How does YouTube work? What are these weird mixes of music that they're giving me? That's been a thing. So there's also a bit of a thought exercise of, how do I make this a fun, exciting new challenge thing where I get to discover something that I didn't already know? Yay! Rather than, fuck me, why won't it do this thing that the other one will do? So anyway, all that to say, this is also part of what's contributing to, there's too many things in my head, there's too much moving around, there's too many things to think about, there's too many things to work out. That's a very small thing in the scheme of things, but it's a thing nonetheless. And I wanted to make sure I include it in this video, and maybe I'll cover it over with some lovely walking through the misty woods, just so that this revelation that just occurred to me may also be supportive to you. It is the small things and the big things, but the small things that we don't notice. As a human in a capitalistic society that's taught to not be sensitive, that's taught to just get on with it, we can only do that for so long. And when that stops working, or maybe you've not even been capable of doing it, maybe you've been disabled by conditions and energy and stuff for longer. Regardless, it's new to me, and the audience that I imagine will be finding my videos, it will be new to you too. So the little things, it's all the little things, it's the tiny little things, it's the things you wouldn't even think about. Well, think about them, because they make a difference. They probably make all the difference. The stage where I'm at with whatever it is that I'm dealing with is, it's the little things. The little things are bigger than you think they are. So maybe we don't need to call them the little things. I don't know. Now I'm rambling, so I'm going to stop. I've made my point. I've bought my milk. I'm going home now. I will see you for final reflections with my cup of tea. Cheers. Now I'm back, I've realised I've done the thing that I always do, often do. I go for a walk, and I walk. I stay in constant motion, and that's fine. I went for a walk. I was walking. However, when feeling full and overwhelmed and agitated, stillness is a part of what I need. I forgot that today. That's also something that goes along with doing things with other people. The mindful part of me, the part that's able to be mindful about what's going on, to pay attention inwardly and outwardly, and to make decisions based on more subtle information, they can't. I can't. So being on that walk today, whilst I was out for probably 90 minutes, almost 2 hours, it was a gentle walk, but it was a constant walk, and I was almost constantly thinking about filming, thinking about what's a good shot. And also enjoying thinking about filming, thinking about talking to camera, thinking about sharing my experience with you. But that has meant that now I've come back, and whilst I do feel a lot better, thank goodness, I still feel activated, and that needs addressing. Not right now. I suppose I could do stillness now, I could meditate now. I don't think that's really what I need. I'm going to do that anyway. I think the addressing of that issue more is about next time I go for a walk, a long walk, whether it's to take you with me or not, is to remember to include moments of stillness, moments of mindfulness, moments of pause to take in where I am. I definitely noticed a lot of moss and trees and leaves and mist and water. Like, I didn't not notice things. I just didn't pause as much as I could and as much as I think I needed. But other than that, I had a really lovely afternoon. I was really surprised how many people were out in the mist. I've just assumed the whole world are fair weather walkers, and that's absolutely not the case. I'm a fair weather walker, but even I was out today. And it was really nice actually to see a lot of young kids out on mountain bikes doing the mountain bike track. Makes me want to do it a little bit, but I think I'm too old to actually be able to be brave enough to do that. I don't know if I was ever brave enough to do that, if I'm honest. It looks like fun, but I'll overthink too much. I don't have a mountain bike. I'm not going to do it. If you have a mountain bike and you're inclined to go and do mountain bike tracks, go. They look great. But yeah, this has been a restorative walk. I do feel better. There's still some in me that needs moving out, but my mood is infinitely improved. I feel like I'm able to enjoy the rest of my Sunday, start the week slightly less resentful than I started the weekend, even though I slept loads last night, and that's cause for concern. I think with the way that I was feeling yesterday, it makes sense. And somewhere in there is validating. It's validated how hard I found yesterday and how hard I found the day before. If I'm sleeping over 9 hours, like, my system is trying to process stuff and get better. And so the fact that I didn't wake up until 10 o'clock today, mental, reassures me that it's not all in my head. And if it is, my head needs rest. So thank you for joining me. I've got my tea. I also spontaneously decided I'd like to make cheesecake as my treat for the week. So I've got all the ingredients for cheesecake, and I bought some digestives for the base. So I'll have one of these with my tea, and then I'll make some cheesecake at some point soonish. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for sticking around. This will be a regular thing because, like I say, it's my New Year's resolution to do long walks in the Peak District, which I'm not sure I quite did because we were on this side of the Peak District boundary. But nonetheless, this was me going out on purpose for a walk for a few hours, and I took you with me, and that is my resolution for January ticked. See you in the next one. Ta-ra!